Hi, this is Ed. Today we're going to talk about doing maintenance on your Versa tiller. The tools you'll need: the screwdriver, 10mm wrench, your spark plug wrench, which comes with the Versa, and needle nose pliers will come in handy too. One of the first things, tillers need three things to run. You need gas, you need spark ignition, and you need compression. We're going to talk about the gas first. Anytime, all these small engines will run on regular gas or premium with 10% ethanol or less, and I would recommend always using a fuel stabilizer in the gas. That'll solve a lot of your fuel problems. The next thing is the air cleaner. Every time you take your tiller out, you should check your air cleaner, and to do that, you just spin these nuts off. And as you see inside here, sometimes the dirt will be collected in here. You have a filter. This needs to be cleaned out, and the directions are in the owner's manual for cleaning the filter. Should have a light film of oil in it. When you're done, you squeeze the oil out, so it just needs a light film, and then reinstall it. But soap and water works real well. A little dish soap. You can get all this dust out, the cobwebs, anything that might accumulate over storage and use. The next thing I want to talk about is with the fuel, linkages need to move freely. So the throttle should work freely. You can notice it on the carburetor, that should move free. If that doesn't move free, if that's sticky or gummy, sometimes it gets clogged up with a little dirt. You can clean it out with a little carbon choke cleaner, or WD-40 will clean out. You can shoot it on the pivot points, and that'll help free that up. They should work nice and free. The next thing, if you want to check fuel flow, if you're questioning whether or not you have a plugged fuel filter, there's an easy check. On the bottom of the carburetor, there's a little screw right here. Okay? I can show you on this carburetor. So that screw, what it is just a bleed screw. If you open it up, you crack it open, and the fuel should run out in a nice easy stream, and then close it up snug. And then that way you know you got fuel going to the carburetor. The next thing, you can check the spark plug with the spark plug wrench. Pull the plug wire off and pull the plug out. And if you've spent a long time trying to start it, pull the plug out. If the plug is dry, it's not getting fuel, and that means your carburetor is probably dirty. If the spark plug is wet, then you probably flooded it. But that's another situation where you had the choke on too long. And to remedy that, just take the choke off and pull it over again, and it should fire right up. Next, we're going to remove the carburetor. After the air filter is off, these two nuts right here are 10mm. Spin those off. And this down here is the breather tube for the fuel tank. That you could either spin this nut off, or there's a hose on the back side that you could pull off, or you could just swing it off to the side. So you have some options there. Now this is the other breather that goes into the rocker cover. Make sure that you have a nice tight seal around there when you reinsert that. And it should be a nice tight seal there, because otherwise it'll suck dust and dirt in there as well. You can just lay that down there for the moment. And now the carburetor will slide off. Sometimes the gaskets stick a little bit. You want to be very careful with the gaskets or you'll rip the gaskets. We do sell replacement gaskets for that. The fuel line, of course this tank has fuel in it, so I'm not going to pull it right at this moment, but you have a little clamp here that you slide up the fuel hose, and it helps if you kind of take a screwdriver or something and push on the bottom side of the fuel line as you're pulling it off, because it'll come off a lot easier that way, because they kind of stick on the carburetor. And then it's a matter of the linkage. Now there's a spring. The spring kind of takes the slack out of the linkage so it's not sloppy and it keeps your engine from surging. And the governor rod here kind of pokes down through the hole in the carburetor there on the linkage, and it goes through the close hole to the pivot point. Okay, here's the bleed screw I was talking about earlier. If you want to check if you got good fuel flow, you can open this up. And you don't have to take it out, you just need to open it up. And you see the fuel will start to run out. You should get a nice steady stream like that, uninterrupted. And just snug it back up. The other thing you can do, you can service this carb without taking it off. A partial service, I would say. And what to do there, if you take the bowl, if you're not getting gas flow out here, you can take the bowl off by loosening this nut. And of course this one's going to flow free. All the gas will run. So here we have the carburetor from the Versa removed, and here you see the choke lever. That's how it operates. That should be smooth. There's a little spring here that kind of sets it, so you get a feel for it. And the throttle linkage gets connected there. Again, the spring goes in the first hole, and the governor rod goes in the second hole. You don't need to mess with any of these other screws if you're just going to do a simple cleaning. The easiest way to check is pull this bolt out. Now this carburetor has a little bit of tarnish, you can see right there. If you look inside, you can see the tarnish from the ethanol. There's a little rubber seal that goes on the top of this that needs to be put back in the correct position. It falls right in the groove in the bottom here. Now the float should go freely, and you can check this if all you do on the unit is pull this out, pull the bowl off to check. This should be nice and free. If it sticks in one position or the other, that means the needle is stuck up inside there. That should move nice and free. And if it doesn't, you can simply pull this little rod out and pull that off. Now you have to be careful not to use it. As you can see, this one's all tarnished. This one was actually stuck. And you can see the discoloration and the gunk inside there. That all needs to be cleaned out. And if you reinstall it, it goes right back in the and that should move nice and free again. Parts to clean, you need to clean out the jet. And you can just spray the cleaner through there to clean that. Carbon choke cleaner works. Sometimes it works to soak parts in Pine Sol. Another thing to check is the little fuel filter that's in the line. Now, this filter is optional, but it will plug up from ethanol. If the rest of the carburetor is gunked up, this will be gunked up also. So it's a good idea to clean that out, clean out the passages. And if you don't mess with the jets or the setting, everything should still run the same when you put her back together. But as you can see, there's little ports there that need to be flushed through. And that's it. All right, so that completes quick and easy maintenance for the Versa tiller. For more information and parts ordering, go to getearthquake.com.